Straight Drop has finally broken his silence. For the first time since being convicted in the Young Dolph case, he sat down for a lengthy prison interview to explain his side of the story. During that conversation, he made several new claims about his relationship with Young Dolph, a record deal he says was offered to him, and the decisions that ultimately changed his life forever.
You know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna get too much. I'm gonna keep it a little brief, but just put yourself in my shoes and look at this person as someone you look up to and you admire what they about, how they move, you know, the authentic traits that they project. And you know, I ain't ever been a groupie type of man, so I never came like that. And I come to get advice and help, and it's like you feel like you bigger than me.
Yeah.
You ain't on it like that. Like, instead of the brotherly love that you look for in the person that you look.
But while he tried to explain what happened, one thing became clear. The more he talked, the more his interview became a story about regret, pride, betrayal, and opportunities that can never be taken back. Today, we're breaking down the biggest moments from that interview and what they may reveal about how Straight Drop now views everything that happened. According to Straight Drop, there was once an opportunity that could have completely changed his future. During the interview, he claimed that Young Dolph wanted to sign him to Paper Route Empire with an offer worth $100,000. Straight Drop says he turned it down because he believed he was worth more. Instead of looking at the offer as a stepping stone, he believed his reputation, his life experiences, and what he had already accomplished made him more valuable than the amount being offered.
I feel like, dog, like, you know, it's so many niggas coming to sign, trying to sign you. And you know, you read through the contract, you talk to different people, you get your lawyer, you know what I'm saying? He gonna read through that motherfucker, he gonna tell you what the steps and stuff is like that. And I be feeling like people put these little steps in there, they be trying to get off on it.
Yeah.
They always trying to get off. So, you know, I was fucking with Dolph and them, he was trying to get 100,000. I'm like, I feel like I'm worth more than it.
Whether viewers agree with that decision or not, this is one of the biggest revelations from the interview because it suggests there was once a business relationship developing between the two men before everything eventually fell apart. Straight Drop also claimed that after rejecting the offer, things started changing. According to him, people around Paper Route Empire began acting differently toward him. He described feeling like conversations became quieter whenever he was around, and he believed the atmosphere shifted after he declined the opportunity. It's important to remember, these are Straight Drop's personal claims during the interview, and they have not been independently verified. Still, this is the version of events he says led to growing tension. Perhaps one of the most surprising parts of the interview came when Straight Drop spoke about how he viewed Young Dolph before everything happened.
Be thugging around them. P.I.E. supposed to be in the movement. But when I declined, I turned it to an op.
Yeah.
When I declined the offer, I was an op now. I come around, niggas get quiet, acting funny. That what going on? I'm a street guy, I peep everything. Ain't too much getting past me because of my lifestyle and where I come from and how I came.
So if you was sitting right next to Young Dolph right now to this day, what could you say to him?
Why?
Yeah.
Why? Because I ain't want to take what you offer. That you choose to slander me, slander my name.
But
amongst the PIE.
How could you say he slandered your name?
You know, things get back to you.
Yeah.
You know, one person tells somebody else to tell the next person to get back. It's like, hold on. I don't know what they know about the situation if they was there. So how you know? Oh, so you done been around this person and they told you they exposed some information or something. It just got to the wrong ear and it got back to me.
He said he respected Dolph. He said he admired the way Dolph moved. He even described looking up to him and wanting advice from someone he believed had already accomplished what he hoped to achieve himself. But according to Straight Drop, that admiration eventually turned into disappointment. He claimed he expected brotherly guidance, but instead felt looked down upon. Whether that perception was accurate or not, it clearly became a major part of how he now explains their relationship. Then came one of the biggest moments of the entire interview. The host asked the question everyone wanted answered. Why? Why did everything go this far? Instead of giving a direct explanation, Straight Drop declined to answer. Moments later, however, he suggested that he felt his name had been damaged after rejecting the alleged offer and claimed he believed his hand had been forced by everything happening around him. That distinction is important. Throughout the interview, Straight Drop repeatedly spoke about disrespect, changing relationships, and betrayal. But when directly asked why things escalated to such a tragic outcome, he never gave one clear, complete answer. In another emotional part of the conversation, Straight Drop shifted his attention away from Young Dolph and towards someone he says hurt him even more, Cornelius Smith. Straight Drop described Cornelius as someone he had known for years. According to him, they grew up together. They shared clothes. They spent nights at each other's homes. Their families were close. Because of that history, Straight Drop said he never believed Cornelius Smith would eventually testify against him. More than anything else discussed during the interview, this appeared to be the betrayal that still weighs heavily on him. As the conversation continued, Straight Drop described what life became once his name was connected to the investigation. He said people he once trusted began changing. He believed people around him were trying to collect reward money. He described feeling like he couldn't trust anyone anymore. When discussing his eventual arrest in Indiana, Straight Drop claimed he had been set up. He admitted that once law enforcement surrounded him, he immediately knew it was over. For someone who once believed he was headed toward a successful music career, everything had changed in an instant. But the most emotional part of the interview didn't come until much later. When asked if he regretted anything, Straight Drop finally offered one of his clearest answers. He said he regrets being naive about the opportunity that had been placed in front of him. Looking back now, he believes he could have handled the situation differently. Instead of allowing everything to continue escalating, he says he should have either accepted the opportunity or simply walked away. He admitted that if he had today's mindset back then, he believes he would have made a different decision. That may have been the closest the interview came to genuine reflection. Later, Straight Drop made another statement that stood out. He said the only legacy most people will remember him for is Young Dolph. He acknowledged that no matter what else he accomplished in life, this is what history is likely to remember. For someone who once hoped to become known as a successful artist, that's a difficult reality to face. Near the end of the interview, the questions became much shorter. The answers became even more revealing. When asked what his biggest fear is, Straight Drop answered with just a few words: dying in prison. Then came perhaps the most powerful exchange of the entire interview. The interviewer asked him one final question: "What is your biggest regret?" Straight Drop answered immediately: "Picking up that pistol." No long explanation, no story, no blame. Just 4 words. Whether viewers believe every explanation he offered throughout the interview is ultimately up to them. Some will hear regret. Others will hear someone still trying to justify the choices that changed so many lives forever. What cannot be ignored is that this interview paints the picture of someone looking back at opportunities lost, friendships destroyed, trust broken, and a future that can never be reclaimed. The legal case has already been decided. The convictions remain in place. Now, what remains is the conversation about how one decision permanently changed multiple families, ended one promising career, and left another man facing the possibility of spending the rest of his life behind bars. After hearing Straight Drop speak for himself, do you believe he truly accepts responsibility for what happened? Or do you believe he is still trying to explain away the choices that brought him to this point? Let me know what you think in the comments below.